Hey, I'm Chef Rich, a classically trained chef, author, and award-winning culinary educator. With over 2 decades of experience, I've discovered that food is more than just food. It's our greatest medicine. But here's the truth. There is no quick fixes, magic pills, superfoods, or diets that work. Welcome to a different kind of cooking show. Our mission? To inspire, educate, and prove that getting healthy doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. I'll share tips on saving you money at the grocery store, saving you time in the kitchen, and creating meals that everyone will eat. I'll expose the lies about food, reduce the stress about what's for dinner, and remove the struggle of getting healthy. If you give me a chance, I promise, we'll always make it fun, easy, and delicious. Now let's get cooking. Hey, I'm Chef Rich, and welcome to One Plate Kitchen, where we save you money in the grocery store, we save you time in the kitchen, and we make delicious meals that are easy, fun, and healthy. Now today we're making a true one-pot chicken pie. All right, it's gonna be a little bit of a twist and we're gonna make it kind of super fancy. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. So now, since you know what we're making, let's introduce the real stars of the show, our ingredients. So we're gonna be doing a true chicken pot pie. So today we're using chicken thighs. Now you can change if you wanted to and use chicken breast, totally up to you. All right, we have a little cornstarch here. We have our garlic. We have some dry thyme, and we also have some dry parsley. All right, I wanted to use them dry today because we're doing a stew kind of dish. It's good to let those incorporate in there early, and they release a lot more flavor. We have the star, which is always in every episode that we have. We have our amazing herb salt. We have a can of tomatoes. We have some carrots, celery, onion. We have, to show love to our frozen friends again, we have some frozen green beans. We have a little bit of flour. And then we have a little friend over there. This is puff pastry. And this is where that little fanciness comes in today. And we have our chicken stock that we're gonna use as well. All right, now since you know all of the stars, let's get to cooking. So the first thing we're gonna start with is our chicken. So I'm gonna grab this chicken, get it over here. Now again, we have 2 cutting boards because I wanna be careful with my chicken all the time. So first thing I wanna do is I'm gonna start cutting this up. Now we're looking for extra fat. You'll see some chickens come with a little bit extra fat on there. We wanna just trim that off. We don't need that at all. All right, this one looks pretty good. I wanna check for any cartilage that might be in it. Because this is thigh meat, sometimes you'll get some cartilage pieces that you definitely want to take out. All right, it looks pretty good. So all I'm going to do is just slice this into even kind of julienne cuts. All right, just thin slices. Now, if I wanted to make more, what I could do, and we'll do it with all of them just so we can make a little bit more, is instead of doing julienne slices where I have big long pieces like this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and cut it down in half. Now, instead of having 1 piece, now I have 2 pieces, which it'll spread out in this kind of stew even more, and I can make sure everybody gets some chicken. And the bigger pieces, I'll even cut down to thirds. So you can do it in halves, thirds, it's totally up to you. Or do you want to do it in quarters? Again, that is totally your call. You can do it however you want. All right, I just like to kind of spread it out. Now, once I get it in that pan and I start to cook it, everybody with every scoop will get some chicken in there too. Now I'm gonna add some of the most incredible seasoning that I've ever tasted. And yes, I'm a little biased to my herb salt. I'm just gonna add some of my herb salt and just kind of mix this in. I don't wanna make sure that it's all incorporated well. All right, it's looking good. Now I'm gonna let this sit for a minute. And while that sits, I'm gonna turn my heat up. I've had it going for a little bit. It's warm. It's getting hot now. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to this. Now, if you've seen the show, you know how much do we add. If you said 1 tablespoon, you are absolutely correct. Now, I'm using a cast iron pan for this one. If you didn't have a cast iron pan and if you wanted to use a steel pan, you can definitely do it. It's gonna be the same exact thing. Nothing there is gonna change. I like cast iron because it retains its heat the most. Now, I think pan choice is so important. All right, the kind of pan that you use really has an effect on how we cook. All right, in some coming up episodes, we're really going to kind of dive into what is the difference between a cast iron pan or a stainless steel pan or an aluminum pan. All right, we'll talk about these and we're really kind of breaking down so you can make your own decision on which one you want to get. I love cast iron. One, it retains its heat. We're going to get that in there. I'm going to turn that up a little bit. Just get this in there. Like I was saying, I love cast iron because it retains its heat the best. All right, I know I'm giving away some little secrets there. People don't like cast iron, one, because it rusts. If you don't take care of it, it'll rust, so you want to be really careful with that. I like to take care of it. Once I use it, I'll just kind of clean it up really fast and then just give it a quick layer of oil and then put it away, and it's perfect 100% of the time. Plus, it's cheap. You can go to some stores and you can find a couple 100 pounds of this cast iron for like almost nothing. Or you go to these like secondhand stores, you can get it. People always giving it away, they don't want it. So you get them for pretty cheap, maybe $4 or $5, and you can get a whole pan like this. Then we get into the enameled cast iron. And again, I don't want to give away too much because that's for future episodes. So you want to make sure you stay tuned for those. All right, chicken is in there, doing its thing. We know cutting board, knives, all that stuff has to go away. So I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm also gonna wash these hands, so I will be right back. We're gonna do that fast forward thing, so it makes it look like I'm washing my hands really fast. Hey, Chef Rich here, and I want to officially introduce you to my one plate herb salt. Now, this is the perfect all-in-one seasoning that I carefully handcrafted to enhance any dish. Now, our proprietary herb blend not only provides delicious flavor, but also offers antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties for the health-conscious eater. Now, it's also packed with vitamins and minerals, and that green hue comes from the natural chlorophyll found in fresh herbs. To get some for yourself, visit our website. Okay, we are back. Hands washed, nice and clean. Dried off nicely. So now, first thing we do, as my chicken is going, I want to start building this up. All right, we can take, you'll see some recipes that say, okay, take the chicken out, put it aside, and then start to build other stuff in there. I don't want to do that. Again, I don't want to have to wash dishes, and I don't want to mess up a lot of dishes. So all we're going to do, and I'm going to show you how to do this, is we're just going to build one on top of the other, on top of the other, which is great. Because what we'll do is add more flavor to one dish, more flavor, more flavor, more flavor, and we'll just keep building like that. So I'm going to get my onion ready. So I'm going to take the top, cut that off, cut the bottom off. Then I'm just going to cut this in half. I want to peel that like brown skin off, the papery type skin that's on there. So we get this peeled off. Now you can use any onion you want. If you want a yellow onion, white onion, a red onion. You could even put red onion in here if you wanted to. That's totally up to you. Now I'm going to take my onion and cut this. Now, how do we cut it? You'll see this part right here has that little root in there. Remember, we don't want that root. So to take that out, all you're going to do is take your knife, and I'll do it just standing up so you can see it, and you're just going to make a little incision one way. You'll take it, make a little incision the other way, and you'll see it'll just pop right out for you. You know, that piece we get rid of, and we just have that nice onion piece there. Now for a chicken pot pie, I like kind of diced in there. All right, I don't want to have big, like I cut my chicken into dice, so I want to just follow that dice or kind of cubed look throughout the whole entire dish. So what we'll do here is we're just going to take this and we'll slice down, and we turn it the other way, and again we just make our slices. Really easy. 1, 2, 3. That's done. I do the same thing to this one. We just take it, make our slices, turn it. Now size-wise, again, it doesn't really matter as long as they're all around the same size. Now I'm looking at my chicken, I'm saying, oh, that's looking good. I wish you could smell it because it smells incredible right now. Or you're getting a lot of that nice herb, salt, and aroma in there. And you can smell that chicken too. So I'm gonna get in there with my spatula and just move this around a little bit. You can see nothing really sticks. to the pan at all. As long as you have a nice hot pan, you'll see these will pick up like 1, 2, 3. All right, so we're just gonna give this a little mix. Now, as this is kind of searing and cooking, you know, that chicken is actually cooking too. So the more we do like our cooking process now, the less time it has to be in the oven. So now that's gone for a little bit. I'm gonna add my onions to this. I'm gonna add those onions in there. Now at this point, I also wanna add some of my spices to it. So I'm gonna take my parsley, my dry parsley. I'm gonna get some of that in there. Because remember, since this is dry, it needs time to reconstitute itself. If I was to put this in at the end, you wouldn't get really any flavor from it at all. The texture would not be nice. All right, so I'm gonna mix that up in there. I have my thyme, I put that in there. I got my parsley in there. Oh my goodness, that smell is incredible. And now I'm just gonna mix these in. And you can see once those dry herbs start to hit that heat, they really start to release a lot of their aroma. Now it looks like we put a lot in there, but that's okay. Once we start adding liquid to it, you'll see it'll kind of spread out and mix in really nice. So that's looking good right there. So now I'm gonna give that a couple minutes of cooking. I'm gonna move on to my next ingredient, which is gonna be our celery. I love celery. I like celery raw, and I like celery cooked. Now, if I'm gonna do raw celery, I'm gonna give you a little tip right here. If you're gonna eat raw celery, you'll see sometimes people don't like the raw celery because it has those strings that run up and down there that's really, really fibrous. All right, and they're really hard to break off. What you could do is, if you take your peeler, before you go serve it, you just take your peeler and just run it down here once or twice, and you'll see you'll take the first really thin layer of those really fibrous pieces out, and then take a bite out of it. And I promise you, it will be so tender that you won't have any of that fibrous piece in there anymore. All right, that's just a little tip for you. All right, so first thing we gotta do, take the top off. We're gonna come back here, take the bottom off, and we're gonna do that for all these. All right, I'm gonna take the top off. I'll take the bottom piece off, and we just get rid of that. Now, these right here, you see a lot of people, when they see these leaves here, they peel them off and they get rid of these. I would never peel these off and get rid of them. The only time I would ever take these off would be if I was gonna chop it up and add it to like a salad or a stew at the very, very end where I wanted to add that celery flavor. But for this, I'm just gonna leave it right in there because it's just gonna add more flavor to our dish. Now here I'm gonna do is just slice down the middle, and we'll just slice down the middle on everything. Because remember, we're going for that cubed look. I wanna make sure everything has that cubed look to it. So we just slice down the middle. These are around the same. And you'll see the color difference between this one, and I'll show you real quick the color difference between this one and this one. This is the darker green. It's on the outside of the celery. The inside, where it becomes really, really tender, is gonna have that really light color. So they're all from the same stalk, it's just where it comes from inside the stalk. All right, one's gonna be a lot more tender than the outside. All right, the outside's always gonna be a little bit tougher. The inside is always gonna be a little bit more tender. All right, I'm just gonna cut these. Now I'm gonna grab a couple of them and just start, making some nice dice here. So we just slice through that. Really easy, take your time. You'll look at the pan and you can see, that's a black pan, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult to see. But I don't know if you can see how it's starting to stick to the pan, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But we wanna make sure that we don't let it burn. Burning is a bad thing, but a little bit of that sticking is a good thing. I could scrape up some of it right there. All right, that's great. Now I wanna prevent it from burning, so all I'm gonna do is just add a little bit of my stock to it. Now again, what does it do? It just cools the pan down. I can get in there and scrape up any bits that are in there. Because again, I don't want it to burn. I don't want to ruin all my work. Okay, that's looking great. Next thing goes in is going to be the celery. So I'm just going to add my celery to it. And then we'll start cutting our carrots. Now these carrots have already been peeled. Sometimes I like to peel the carrots, sometimes I don't really necessarily feel it's necessary to peel the carrots, but for this one I did. All right, now to cut these, all we're going to do is we're going to take the top off, we take the bottom pieces off, we get rid of those. We do the same thing here. I'm going to take top off, bottom off, just a little piece of it. Now to work with carrots, it can be really tricky because they're always rolling back and forth. All right, so we want to be careful with that. So to make it easier for you, I want you to cut it in half. Cut them both in half. So we'll work with smaller pieces. All right, now since I got that cut in half, I can take it, put my knife down the middle, and just make my slice. And this is where a sharp knife is crucial. We'll do the same thing to this. I'm going to take it, I put my thumb right behind it so it can't roll back. I put my knife right on top of it, and I just make my slice. All right, now since I have a flat piece, this flat surface to work with, it's much easier for me to cut. So those are ready to go. This one I'm going to do the same thing. Since it's flat, I'm just going to take my knife and just cut right through. And the same thing here. All right, so those are all ready to go. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. All right, so I try to make it as level as possible. I put my knife right on top, and I just make my slice. All right, again, this is where a sharp knife is crucial because a sharp knife will do all the work for you. All right, if it's a dull knife, you're going to end up pushing a lot more pressure on there, and then it becomes a little dangerous then. All right, so again, we're looking for a kind of a flat surface to work with where it's stable. I'm going to put my thumb right in the back just so it doesn't move. My finger's on top. I put my blade right there where I want it to cut. Then all I do is slice forward. If I run out of room, I'm just going to kind of adjust, pick up, and then make one more slice forward. All right, you want to be very, very safe all the time. Same thing, we put it right there in the middle. We can put our hand down, and then we slice forward. All right, real easy, take your time with it. Now from here, all we're gonna do is just like we did with everything else. We're just gonna go through and make sure we have all around the same size. All right, all around the same size. So that's good there. Now don't grab more, like I wouldn't say grab all of these and try to do it all in one shot. All right, take your time. I don't want anybody to cut themselves. I want everybody to be safe. So we just take our time, make our cut. We put it over there, and we do the same thing one more time. All right, so I put it all together. Then I just go make my slice. All right, take your time, let the knife do all the work. And then we have all our carrots ready to go. Now I'm gonna give this a stir. It's looking good, it's smelling incredible right now. Or you can really smell that celery now too. It's really strong. So now we're gonna add our carrots. Get our carrots in there. And again, one pot. I love one pot cooking because I hate to do dishes. All right, so we give this a stir. You can see all this beautiful color in there. Remember, the more color that's in there, the more flavor it's going to have and the more nutritional value you're going to get out of it. And you'll see it's a pretty hearty dish. So next thing goes in, we have two ingredients. We have our tomatoes, and then we have our amazing garlic. Now for the garlic, what I'm going to do is just give it like 1 or 2 tablespoons of garlic. All right, maybe like 2 tablespoons and a quarter, only because I really like garlic. I'm going to give this a stir, make sure it gets in there. And now we know, I know you know, that when we can smell that garlic, it's time to move on to the next step. Oh, I can smell the garlic already. Next step will be our tomatoes. So we're just gonna get our tomatoes in there. And we just mix this in. It's looking beautiful, smelling incredible. All right, so once this is all mixed in, I just want to make sure I incorporate it well. Now to put this in the oven right now, what would happen is there's not enough moisture in there to really cook the chicken, so it would be kind of like a dry pot pie. And one of the best things about a pot pie is that it has that like creamy liquid in there that gives it that really nice flavor. So the last two things we're going to add in is going to be our frozen friends, our green beans. And you can see already this is a really full type meal. I mean, you have a lot of flavor going on here. You have a lot of colors and textures going on in here, which is amazing, which again translates into a nutritious meal and one that's relatively inexpensive. Now we're gonna get some chicken stock in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of chicken stock. And it looks like I put in too much. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make a slurry. Now, what is a slurry? A slurry is a cornstarch and liquid thickener. All right, I could use flour and I had put butter in here and I would have to make a roux if I wanted to, and you can. It just is gonna extend the cooking time. All right, I wanna kind of expedite this because remember, I wanna get you in and out of the kitchen as quick as possible. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my cornstarch here. I'm gonna add some chicken stock to it. Just a little bit, not too much. And then we're gonna stir this up. All right, so I'm gonna take this and just mix it up. And you'll see that it forms like, it's gonna be a little rough in the beginning, like when you start mixing it up, but the more you mix it, you'll see it'll start to come together. And this is, I think, one of the coolest things, because once you start mixing it, like it makes this like thickness, but then it kind of clumps down into like a smooth paste. All right, it's really cool to use. All right, so once we get this mixed in, we say, okay, that's perfect. The consistency, we want it to be the consistency of a cold, heavy cream. All right, we say, okay, this looks good. It looks like heavy cream there. Now all I'm gonna do is start pouring a little bit at a time into my liquid, and I'm gonna start to stir this up. And you'll see, as long as my liquid is boiling, my sauce will start to thicken. So we're gonna get a little bit more because it's not there yet. It's almost there, and you can see the consistency change. It has thickened up, but I want it to be just a little bit more. And you can do this with any sauce. All right, now we have a really nice consistency and a thickness. That's perfect. Now I'm gonna get that last component in there, which is kind of like the most fancy component that we have. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of puff pastry to this. So while this simmers nicely, you can see the sauce really got it to a nice, as I move it, you can see, you know, how it kind of fills back in, but it's like a nice saucy, almost like a gravy consistency, and that's what we want. Now you can get this puff pastry anywhere. Any store will have it. It's in the frozen aisle. I'm gonna get a little bit of flour out there just so it doesn't stick to my board. And I'm just gonna kind of open this up a little bit. So I'll show you how to work with this. And it looks like it's really difficult to work with, but it's not. They make it so easy to work with. We're just gonna open this up like this. Now, what I'm gonna do, you don't have to roll this out anymore. You don't have to do anything else to it. It's ready to go. I'm gonna get my cutter and I'm just gonna start cutting out little circles. All right, so we're just gonna cut out little circles just like this. Now, do you have to do this? You don't have to. I could take that whole sheet of puff pastry. Put it right up on top, put a blanket on it, and then throw it right in the oven. All right, but what I want to do with this is, because I made my little circles, I'm gonna turn off my heat. I have my little circles right here. All I'm gonna do now is just go around it and just lay it right on top. All right, we're just gonna go around and just lay these right on top. Now, in a 400-degree oven, just until these are beautiful and golden brown. Timer just went off. Now it's time. Let's go get it out of the oven. Look at this. Looks incredible. Smells incredible. Now you can see everything got like puffed up nicely. We got some, I don't know if you can hear that. That's what a pot pie should be like. Or you can see the sauce in there too. Let's come over some of them a little bit, but it looks incredible. I can't wait to dig into this. So now, this is a true one pot pie. So I could just take this, bring it right to the table, and everybody can kind of just dig in and serve themselves. Again, just one pot to claim, which I love. Now, come on. It doesn't get any easier than this. If we work together, getting healthy and feeling better doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. I promise. We'll always make it fun, easy, and delicious, and we'll do it one plate or one pot at a time. God bless, and I'll see you next time. I'm gonna start eating. Do you want to know more easy to follow tips and techniques that'll transform your cooking game? Join me for live cooking classes and keep learning with our new One Plate Cooking Club. Visit our website and sign up today for your favorite class. I'm about to eat. I'll see you later.